Hey, this is Computer Programming University. This is episode 2 of the epic Hello World program or project. So basically we're building the most epic Hello World program ever. And to do this, what we're going to do is every episode, we're going to add a new feature to the classic Hello World program. Last episode, we just did the classic Hello World where it just prints out literally Hello World. And today we're going to add our first additional feature, and then stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe because every episode we're going to add a new feature to Hello World and make it more and more advanced. You guys can follow the process, and every time we add something, it's something new for you to learn. And I think this will be an interesting way to learn because you will have the previous knowledge of what we showed before, and then you just basically amending that knowledge every single time as opposed to starting with a whole new project. But anyway, without further ado, this is a Computer Programming University where we're learning too fast. Learning is fun, as it always should be. And the first step here is to smile. Let's get to our terminal and start building Hello World. This is Hello World, Epic Hello World, episode 2. Let's begin. Click subscribe, then click the bell. Click the bell because you... That's right, click that bell. All right, so here we are, Linux terminal. This is what we did on the last episode. Let me just show you the results. So we just do a up arrow and we run it. Run that. All it says is Hello World. Hola Mundo. Anyway, let's add a feature. So we're going to go VIM, hello epic, and now we're just going to do something really simple. So what I want to do is I would like this to not just display hello world. Actually, you know what we're going to do? Let's do sort of a splash screen. Very simple splash screen, nothing complicated. And then let's add a little bit of a delay. So I think I'm gonna have to import time to do that. Well, let's first of all start out with what our splash screen is gonna say. So splash screen should say, welcome, wow, look at that spelling. Welcome to Computer Programming University's epic hello. Okay, so, and now what I would like to do is I would like to sleep for a bit, but I think I have to import the time module to do that. I want to do like a sleep. Let's do a sleep. Let's see, 0.8. And that would probably be a time dot sleep 0.8. And I think we're gonna have to import time. But this is not going to work because maybe it will work. Maybe I get lucky, but I gotta figure out the syntax on this. But this is the basic idea of what I want to do. So importing modules, it's something that you will be doing a lot with Python. It's one of the powerful features that Python offers you, where instead of building everything from scratch, you have these libraries of existing code that you can tap into to sort of build your application in a modular fashion. So imagine that you wanted to have a program that has a graphical component. So you want to have a GUI, for example, GUI, graphics user interface, or graphic user interface, right? Rather than you coding the instructions to draw a window and buttons, you can actually use existing code that'll do that for you. To do that, what you want to do is import a library that has that kind of code. So I think it's called Tkinter, is a popular library that allows you to do things like buttons and windows and things like that. So you would begin your program by importing the library. So simply having the statement import and the library name. There's also ways to import just specific parts of the code. So a library can consist of lots and lots of code, lots of functions or whatever is in there, but you can target rather than importing the whole thing, because that is not the best idea, depending on what you're trying to do, because you're loading all of this stuff in, every time you start your program. So a more efficient thing would be to actually import exactly what you need. And also there is something called I believe the correct term is namespace. So if you're importing an entire library, there may be something in the library that you've imported that conflicts with something that you put in your program. So just for example, imagine there's a function that you create, and in the library there's also a function with the same name, and then having conflicts and things like that. So generally speaking, it's best practice to import specific components from a library rather than an entire thing. But just to keep things simple, I'm just going to import the entire library for now, but keep that in the back of your mind in the future. You don't want to do that. So anyway, let's figure out what is wrong with this, because I can assure you there is definitely something wrong with this, because I need to figure out the syntax. But I want you guys to see the full process of how you can do this. So let me get out of here, and we can go ahead and run this and just see what kind of errors we get. Now, let me make sure this live stream is still functioning. I see some strange things going on over here. Okay, so we are back in business. All right, so if we run this, we will see complaining about time.sleep. So that's not the correct syntax, and that doesn't make any sense. I don't even know why I did that. I'm just being silly. Time.sleep. I would presume that I'd want to put this in parentheses like that. And let's see what happens when we do that. Now, so actually I wasn't too far off there. So I'm impressed with myself. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Good job. So basically, I want you to get in the habit of going through this process of exploration. Why is there a memory card in my fan? I kid you not. What the? Wow. Okay. This is literally in my fan. But anyway, once you get to the process of not being afraid to make mistakes, try something out. You'll find that Python is very intuitive. So as you get more comfortable with the language, sometimes, or in general, I want you to not always refer to, written materials, books, tutorials, whatever. I want you to sometimes, or a lot of times, try to think about how might you do something. Think about what you've learned and use that knowledge to sort of theorize. How would, considering the way Python works normally, considering what I've done in Python previously, take a guess how you might actually do whatever you're trying to do. Just try it, right? And then run it, and then see what happens, right? You get some error messages, see if you can fix it based on what the error messages are. And as a learning process, this is not the way you would normally necessarily code, but as someone who's learning, these are things that you can do to help the process. Because the more actively involved you are in the coding, the better it's going to be for, building those solid memories. So you want to avoid too much hand holding where you're just going to follow something in a book or follow a tutorial. You want to think, you want to go through the process of, how would I do this? I think I might want to do this way. I get this error message. What's that error message saying? Let me try this. Not that. Let me try something else. Some little piece of dust floating in there. What's going on? Anyway, let me try this. Let me try that. And if it's not working at some point in time, you say, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Then, look it up, but try to figure out as much as you can as possible, rather than to just sort of, again, with the hand holding, right? So like what I did, I wasn't even sure how close I was to where I needed to be, but I just took a chance, and with a slight adjustment, I got it. So pretty much I did the import time module. That's fine. I just did import time. And then I know that normally the way that you pull from a library, so what we're doing here is, so we're referring to the time library that we've imported here, right? And then from the time library, we're requesting sleep, right? So think of sleep as a piece of code within the time library. Remember, libraries are just sort of groups or pieces of existing code that you can use in your program, sort of in a modular fashion, rather than building it from scratch. So normally what I'm doing here is this time.sleep. What I'm doing is I'm adding a delay, right? I'm adding a 0.8 second delay. So I want the program to pause for 0.8 seconds, or to sleep for 0.8 seconds, and then move on to the next line of code. So what we're saying here, import this library, print welcome to CPU's epic hello, then go to sleep for 8.8 seconds. Just don't do anything, just wait. So it's going to count down. Once this time has elapsed, then move on to the next line of code, which is printing hello world. Pretty basic. So all we're doing here is, once we import the time library, we are calling the time library and requesting the piece of code within the time library called sleep. And then we're giving sleep an argument. So just like how before we gave the Python interpreter the argument of the script name. So we're saying run the script name. Here we're saying we're sending sleep a value of 0.8, and sleep takes a numerical value, which is the seconds that the program should wait or pause or sleep, right? So we're basically sending it 0.8. Now, the normal syntax, as you can see, you can look for these patterns, right? Remember I said, try to utilize your knowledge of what you've learned to try to guess and figure out, when you're learning, try to guess and figure out how to do things rather than be spoon-fed. So normally you see we have a command, and then we have we have the you have everything in parentheses, and then you have quotes and everything. So the general idea is this whole parentheses that we put everything in. So at first I was doing it sort of shell scripting way. Shell scripting, you don't have this parentheses requirement, so you can just, I don't know why I can't say parentheses. That's one of the words I don't know why I always fumble on. But anyway, so that's the normal syntax. So at first I was doing it the shell scripting way, which is you could just put just a number just like that. But then I'm like, you know what? That's not the way you do things in Python. So let me just put the parenthesis around the number, right? And that was the only mistake, and it actually worked. So let's look at it one more time and see what we have going. And I'm going to see how I feel about it. So I would say the sleep is a little bit too fast. So we can go and change this. Let's try 1.8. So I can press R for replace, press the number 1, escape, :WQ for write and quit, and enter. And let's run it again, see what happens. It's good. Now, what I would like to add is I would like it's kind of jumbled, line on top of line. I would like to add a little bit of a separation between the two, And let's do that. So let's do a so we're gonna put a buffer here. So what I'm gonna do is I for insert, enter, and print. So this is how you can pad things. So we could do one more thing here. Let's see. We can do let's do something. Let's do sort of an underbar deal here. So we can just put like a, not the same length as that. So this will be printed as a string. So we'll put that in parenthesis. Guys, don't make fun of me. If you guys make fun, listen, if you guys make fun of me, I'm not going to do any more tutorials. This is going to be the last tutorial. That's it. No more tutorials. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so let's do parentheses. Let's do print, and there you go. I want it to be centered, so let's put some spaces here. That's pretty good. Let's see how that looks. Look at that. Beautiful. Love it. I love it. I love it. I want more of it. Yes, I know I'm not a good singer. You don't have to tell me. Don't even listen, if anybody comments in my comment section and tells me that I don't know how to sing, this is going to be the last tutorial. All right? The last tutorial. Come on, you guys know that's not true. You guys know I love doing these tutorials. I love teaching you guys and helping you grow. So there will be more tutorials, maybe. Anyway, this is the Computer Programming University. This is the Epic Hello World project, episode 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gotta work on my Italian numbers. Anyway, thanks for watching. If this has been helpful for you, enjoyable for you, then you know what to do. Click on the like button, subscribe, and make sure you smash that bell. Shout out to my CPU squad, my top subscribers, Nick, Igor, Mega Noob, MJ Shahid, every single one of you guys. All right, guys, until the next episode, keep pushing, keep learning, keep growing. Every day, a step closer to your dreams. Click subscribe, then click the bell. Click the bell because